Hey guys, today we're going to make a Valentine for someone that you love. And we're going to make it using op art, right? Optical art, so it's going to look like an optical illusion. So you're going to start with a rectangular piece of paper, and you're going to fold it from corner to whatever part of the paper that it lands at to make a straight edge. You want this to be like a right angle. 90 degrees, okay? Then you're going to cut off the excess. Right now you have a triangle. I'm going to cut off this rectangle. Do your best to cut evenly. If you don't have scissors, you can bend the paper back and forth until the crease is weak and you can rip it like this, right? You can move the paper away and it will tear, hopefully. Then I like to fold the paper backwards just to eliminate the crease, and now my paper is flat once again. Now I'm going to take a ruler, and if you don't have a ruler or a measuring tape, then the spacing is not very important. You just need some sort of grid so that you can make boxes like this, and you want them to be relatively even, but the number of squares you have is not important. So if you can just eyeball it, if you don't have a ruler, that's fine. You can find a book with a straight edge and you can use that to help you make lines across your page. But I'm going to measure out 1 inch. Oops, that's not my pencil. So I'm going to, at every number, at 1, 2, 3, I'm going to make a line. 6, 7, 8. Okay, it's not going to be perfectly even, but that's okay. And then I'm going to move my ruler down so that the numbers are aligned still, because it's not a perfectly 9-inch square. 1, 2, oops, I'm not showing myself on the camera. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I connect those dots using my ruler. Now I have straight lines. But before I connect them, I'm going to draw my heart. So I'll do that in a second. But I'm going to make my dots on the other sides. So I'll do, again, 1 inch apart. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You should have 8 marks on all sides. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Before I connect them, I'm going to draw a heart. Now when you draw your heart, you want the heart to be about the size of your hand. Our hands are all different sizes, but generally they fill up the paper a good amount. So use your hand as reference and just draw your heart really lightly at first. I like to start with a V, try to make it symmetrical, try to center it in the middle of your paper. Then I make I'm going on, drawing both sides at the same time so that I can keep them symmetrical. And then I'm going to bring this down. Notice how my hand is resting. It's not moving like this. It's staying in one place and my fingers are pivoting, right? If you're a basketball player, or maybe, I don't know if you do this in baseball or softball, your hand pivots or your body pivots when you want to stay in one place, but you want to change directions, right? So my hand is pivoting so that I can make a sweeping, curving line, okay? And then I can do the same thing if I flip this upside down, and I can make that same sweeping line. I might have to adjust it though, right? It's a little small, so I can bring it out further. Right, and if there's any part of my heart that looks a little wonky, I just adjust. It's a pencil, so it erases, and it's fine. All right, then I'm going to erase what I don't want. And then I can start connecting my lines, but I'm not going to connect my lines straight through the heart. If you notice in my example here, which is a very rushed example, and I will work a lot harder on my next one, my lines curve. once they go into the heart, right? On the outside, they're all straight, but once they hit the heart, they're kind of curved, both the horizontal and the vertical lines. So we're going to do those last. So again, if you don't have a ruler, you can use a straight edge of any kind, DVD case, if you still have those, book, computer, if you can use your computer while you're on Google Meet. And I'm skipping over the heart. Now that I'm over it and under it, I'm skipping over this shape. And the reason we put dots on both edges is so I can line up my ruler and make it straight on my paper, because sometimes if you eyeball it, it's not always perfect. And then I'll make my perpendicular lines. They cross over. I have my grid and I have my heart. Now I have to draw lines through my heart to make it look curved. Okay, so the lines closest to the edges of the heart are going to be the most drastically curved, and they're going to so I just recorded a whole video and I got this far, and then I realized that I didn't have enough space to finish the recording past my 7 minutes that I started. So this is where we are. Yes. So I believe where I left off was when you want to draw, when you draw the lines in the center of the heart, they're going to bow outward and away from the middle. So when you start from the top, this line is going to go over and go down, because the line in the center here would connect to the horizontal lines on the outside here. And then it continues again out here. And then as you get closer to the center, it's going to be a less dramatic curve, or maybe the same curve. And here we're starting to become straighter and eventually now shift to bowing the other direction. Okay, so it's going to bow the opposite way here, and you're just connecting those two horizontal lines. And here again, bowing outward, connecting those lines, and this little sliver of a line. You're doing the same thing with the vertical lines away from the center, right? You're creating this almost like an almond shape. So you connect this line going this way, and then this one comes down here, and this one here, and then this here. And so what this does is make this heart look three-dimensional. And then you may color it however you want. It's in a grid, so you can preferably alternate the colors, right? If you colored it all one color, then it might not have the same effect. It would defeat the purpose. So you want to use two different colors, whether you use black and white, black and red, yellow. I don't know why I said yellow, but you could use yellow, purple and red. Think of Valentine's Day colors. What colors feel loving to you, right? You're going to give this to someone you love, so pick colors that they might like. I chose purple and red. Not my favorite combination, honestly, but I feel like those are some Valentine's colors, so that's why I used them. And then I started coloring this by making the edges of my squares darker around the edges and lighter in the center. Because when you have a three-dimensional object, like this bowl, it's getting hit by light if I turn it to a rounded edge. I have a light part right here. I have this highlight, okay? It's lighter in value, the light's hitting it, and as the object is curving away from the light source, which is probably that way, actually it is that way, I'm seeing it, it's getting darker, okay? So when you have a curved object like this heart, we're making it look curved, the edges of that heart might be darker, okay? So it will increase the three-dimensionality of that. And then also around the edges of the heart on the outside might also be darker. This is a different red, that's okay. Might also be darker because this is the background of your heart. So imagine something three-dimensional resting on a table. It has to cast a shadow of some kind if there's light in the room. So by coloring the background slightly darker, making a gradient, transitioning from dark to light, then it will increase the look of three-dimensionality. Okay, and all I'm doing is pressing harder where I want it to be darker, staying in that place longer, and then moving slowly with a lighter touch to the edge of that square. So again, you can color this any way you want. I encourage you to use 2 colors at the very least. You can add patterns in your squares. You can see how I use hatch marks, going right cross hatch marks, to give my squares some texture, mostly because I was rushing, but also it looks kind of cool. And I only used color on the outside of the heart, but maybe if I were to work on this more, I would add it on the inside like here I started to. So there it is. There's your optical illusion for Valentine's Day, and I hope you enjoy it and give it to someone you love and enjoy this long weekend this weekend. Bye guys.